welcome to another episode of TCG Talk. Back to do with another video, and in today's video I want to go over some of the spoiler cards that have been released, all the way from the ones last night, some of the spicy ones, all the way back to where they showed a couple of the like small teasers. I think they're TCG player, but we have like 4 or 5 here. They're really fun to look at and kind of get a little bit more insight into what the set's going to be about, as well as the precons and all that other stuff. So we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. We have 540 members in the Discord now, so a lot of new people join in. Love to see y'all's faces. Please, if you're new or you've been watching the channel just for a little bit and you haven't joined the Discord yet, I highly recommend doing it. It's a really open, positive space to like ask questions and talk about ideas, and that's really what I try to keep it as. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much. As always, I had an amazing stream last night. Y'all are crazy. We have over 30 channel members now, or close to it, which is just like 29 more than I thought I was going to get. So if you want to support the channel a different way, we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this month for Sensei and McGinchy level members. And if you are just a dojo level member, that's totally fine as well. You get special role in the Discord, as well as emotes in the streams and all this other cool stuff. So regardless, let's get right into it. I want to show these reveals. So some of the reveals aren't too spicy. They're just like fun cards. And then we had the spicy precon reveals last night, right? And we'll talk about those here in a second. And I'll try to maintain my, string of positivity, even if I don't 100% agree with them. We'll get to those in a second, though. So we have Wide Blue Yonder and Big Blue Sky here. So we'll go over these one at a time, but they're both were revealed at the same time. They were revealed in the Dragon Shield promo. So basically Dragon Shield's doing new sleeves as well as Enigma sleeves, and I think they're promos that come with the pre-order. But this one is a Mystic attack reaction that blocks 2. Feels a little bad. Target attack gets +1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. So my initial thought with this was, like, if you're pitching, Enigma is probably where this is used the most, in my opinion, because if she's pitching blues to activate Iris or whatever the case may be to basically attack with her auras, and she has like 3 blues in pitch, then this could be potentially be a 0 cost +3 Chain Ender, which could be really nice for her. If there's ways to draw cards with Zen, or a lot of cards, and he's pitching a lot of blues or something like that, or even New has a couple of blues, like, who knows how we're going to get blues in the pitch zone, right? You could be drawing cards, you could be searching more cards, you could be going to get things, whatever the case may be. So this could be better than it looks. The 2 block does suck. You want this to be a 3 block, but I get it as an attack reaction why they didn't. Maybe it's a little bit overtuned in that case. We don't know how much this is going to be able to buff things. So maybe like this is consistent. Like people were saying, like, oh, this is just a Mystic lunging press. In a sense, yes. But this potentially could be like +2 or +3 value very consistently. And when you're talking about blues, right? Like think of every blue attack reaction we have in the game other than Pummel, right? Like Blue Razor's 1, Conceal Blade, Lunging Press, Cut to the Chase. I'm just saying the ones I can think of, right? Most of the Blue Warrior ones are +1 or +2 maybe, but they cost something, right? Think of the 0 cost attack reactions in the game. They're all +1. The other ones we have like Pummel and stuff like that can be more, but they cost like 2, right? So for this to be a 0 cost and potentially be a +2, +3, that's extremely overrate for a blue attack reaction, right? So you have to think of it in that sense. At least that's how I thought about it. So keep that in mind as you're like evaluating the card. The second one, and these are probably commons also. The second one is Big Blue Sky. It's the same as Big Blue Yonder. It's just for defense. This gets +1 for each card you've pitched this turn. This one's a little bit interesting because it's on defense. So how often are you going to be pitching cards? Like, obviously, there's ways to pitch cards for defense reactions, to pitch for, in case of illusions, to pitch for auras or instants. So, right, this could end up on most turns blocking for basically a 3 block, and then on a good turn where you have maybe a lot of instants and this is all you have, this could potentially be blocking for like 4. But I don't know. I actually think that with the card knowledge I have currently, I think Wide Blue Yonder is better than Big Blue Sky for value-wise. You're really going to have to be having either a crappy hand or a reason to pitch on every turn on their turn. So because of that, I don't like this one as much as the attack reaction, but I want to see the set and see like how easy is it to get that value from the block, because it might be easier than we think, and it might be we're pitching more cards than we think on both turns. So pretty cool. Nothing too crazy with those. The next one is just a fun one. Oasis Respite. They're doing a rainbow foil of it, and it's an alt art for the Road to Tokyo events. This is just sick. I mean, the artwork on this is sick. If I can't get somewhere to get this, I'm gonna try to get someone to get it for me. I forgot exactly what events it's gonna be at. As I click on it here, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what events it's gonna be at. It looks like it's gonna be at any World Premiere Tokyo event, as well as like the events that are specifically said as to be Road to Tokyo events. But regardless, really cool. The art's amazing. Nothing crazy here. Just wanted to show it off, and then we'll get into the spicy stuff. So I'll do this one first. So the Precons. So this is going to be in the KO Precons. I'm not going to get overly negative about this. I really don't want to. I kind of like said my piece on Twitter last night. I'll put it in a very simplistic version, and I'm not saying that my version is right? I'm not saying that this is 100% how LSS should be doing it. Basically, there was revealed through a kit, through some type of leak, that Savage Sash is going to be a Majestic Brute Equipment chest in the KO Precon deck, releasing in May. It's an action, destroy this. Attack action cards you play with 6 or more cost 1 less to play his turn, go again. So this is probably one of many reasons why Berserk was banned, because this would be absolutely stupid in Reinhardt. But on a Berserk list. But basically, Brute and more specifically KO just got 3 more armor, so now they're up to 3 at the, if you used all of it, 3 at the chest, 3 at the arms, 3 at the legs, and minimum 2 at the headpiece, if not more. You're not counting the like implied value from Scowling Flesh Bag. So they have a minimum of 11 armor now, potentially more. And its ability, so there's a couple things. We'll talk about the ability first, then we'll talk about the implications of this being a Precon. The ability at a core, at a floor, in my opinion, is a 2-block Heart and Cross Trap. That's basically what it is. You're going to block with this one time, it's going to go down to 1, and you're going to activate it in order to give a card that costs 1, that's a 1 for 6 or more, make it free. So like this would make Savage Feast. You don't have to like pitch a card, and you basically get the automatic on-demand tunic activation when playing like a card like Savage Feast. This actually makes other cards, though, like Savage Swing and stuff like that, more playable, because like on a 3-card hand, you could, let's say you have Savage Feast, you know, and 2 good pitch cards, so it doesn't matter which one gets discarded. You activate this, play Savage Feast, discard one of those cards. Let's say you draw into a Savage Swing, and so because you discard 6 or more, you draw a card and you draw into a Savage Swing, so you're still at 3 cards. Then you could pitch for Claw, and then you're at 2 cards, and normally you wouldn't be able to play Savage Swing if you didn't have anything floating, but like you could pitch a Claw off a yellow and then play Savage Swing because it's now free still in the turn. So like, yes, that's a really niche, weird play line, but I mean, if you think about it, that gives you access to a 3-card 16 off of a single yellow, right? So it's like, I think its ceiling in KO is stuff like that, where you could just like go nuts. It also allows you to play stuff like Wild Ride for 1 resource, which is pretty nutty as well. Like if you play Savage Feast, right? Same situation. You play Savage Feast, like I just said, basically for free. Discard a card. It's a 6. You draw a card again. Let's say it's a Wild Ride, and let's say you have a Wild Ride, a yellow, and a red. You're now able to pitch for Claw off the yellow, and then with your 1 resource of the red, play Wild Ride if you wanted to, right? So I think its floor is it's a 2-block Heart and Cross Trap, and its ceiling is it's going to allow you to basically play 2 attacks and Claw off of a single yellow, which is pretty nuts, right? When it comes to value, I think it really does make KO a lot better. So let's talk about the good. Oh, and then I'll show, before we talk about like the good and the bad, I'll show the other one behind it. It's run Ruffs Hood. It's a 1-for-5 blue 3-block, which is pretty nice. Brute. It says play as only if you've discarded a card with 6 or more this turn. So even without Savage, the Savage Sash chest, this card's pretty dope. It's a 1-for-5 blue, especially in KO. Not as much in Reinhardt, but in KO specifically, like this is pretty awesome. Off a Blood Rush Bellow, like this allows you to swing this as a 1-for-7 ender off Blood Rush Bellow. So again, off of a singular blue, like you could have what, 3-card hand or a 2-card or 3-card hand and play Blood Rush Bellow, and then let's say you just have this and another blue, you can claw into this, right? Which is pretty nice value, right? So overall, the cards are great. They're awesome cards. The thing I had a problem with was, one, when this first came, they were talking about the CC Precons. There's there was an okay amount of discourse about, okay, are they going to learn from Glistening Steelblade? Are they going to print, sealed exclusive products that are highly sought after by all players, including highly competitive players? And it's basically going to scalp those products, and they're not going to be used as much for new players as they could be. And it's a weird dichotomy. So like, I won't ramble too much about this. It's not that I don't want to. Sorry, this is like, we're doing this live. I understand the sales tactic that they're doing. In my opinion, they haven't came out and said this. This is just me thinking as a marketer. They want this product to be sought after to a reasonable amount by every player in the game, right? They don't want only new players to care about this product. They want this to be beneficial for new players and for new players to feel good about buying this product. But they also, I think, want existing players to buy the product. They do. Which is why, in my opinion, depending on, we don't know what the cards are full yet, but if all they did was, if the only exclusive highly sought after card is this chess piece, it's not as bad, because like in the case of Glistening Steelblade, if you wanted them all and you didn't buy them on TCG Player or wherever the heck you buy your cards, you'd have to buy 2 of the Dory battle boxes because they only came in a 2 of, right, which felt really bad. So most people were buying 1 and then scalping the last one, which was even more annoying. If this is the only highly sought after card and Run Ruffs Hood comes in as a 3 of in the Precon, which it should if it's classic constructed Precon, then this isn't as bad because the existing player only has to buy 1 in order to feel good and get the card they want while also buying the product. And I think that's what they're wanting. They're wanting every player, whether you're a highly competitive player or whether you're a new player, to want to buy this product. They want the product to sell, and because of that, finding some type of middle ground, even if you get slight negative sentiment from it, where everyone's going to buy it, is good, right? So I understand the sales tactic. I'm not naive to it. I'm not stupid. But regardless, it's one of those things where I just wish they wouldn't do this. I defended, I don't mean like white horsing, but like white knighting, but I defended LSS really hard to the point where I kind of got roasted on Twitter for being too positive when they first announced the KO Precon. Like, everybody was complaining like, oh, they're going to put more exclusive cards in there, it's going to scalp it, it's going to make it stupid, like, and people were super negative, and like I was defending it, like, no, they've definitely learned from Glistening Steelblade, there's no way they're going to do that again, and they did it. So it's a little bit annoying on my side, and I just, like, people aren't thinking, like, there's different environments all over the world, right? Like, they're thinking about this. I know LSS is. It's just they made the conscious decision to really, like, I'm not going to say not care, because they care. I don't want to use too brash of verbiage, but, like, they've made the decision of saying, we want everyone to want to buy this product, and we're okay with some of the negative sentiment that comes along with having exclusive cards in the Precon, which is fine. But I just wish they wouldn't do this. I wish it was one of those things, like, for example, I know it's a slightly smaller product, it's not a one-for-one comparison, but I loved what they did with the Blitz decks for heavy hitters, right? All of those decks, none of them had anything exclusive in it. What it did have was cool little full arts, right? The agile windups for full art, all that stuff. And some existing players who cared about having those different looking cards bought the decks, but they're not just going to buy them out, right? It was really good for new players as well. And they're actually really good quality Blitz decks. Do that with the Precons, right? You can put Blood Rush Bellow in there because most all brutes have it, and it's still a solid card. And if you tank the price of the M's a little bit, that's fine because those M's aren't super expensive anyway, right? You could put Beast Within in there and Blood Rush Bellow, and they feel pretty good about the deck, right? It's pretty nice. So I don't know. That's just my thought. I'm not gonna like be a town crier about it. Like, literally after today, I won't complain about it anymore. It's more of just my general thoughts. I don't like seeing, and I said must play on Twitter, and in my opinion, this chest is a must play. I know people say they prefer Tunic, and that you can make an argument for that, but I do think that this card, it just gives KO more room, right? It gives him 11 block. It allows him to do some pretty nutty plays on a pop-off turn. Like, he can run this 2 cost, 1 cost curve now, and it's a lot easier, like the additional cost cards, because he can play Savage Sash to make up for the difference. So I think it's better than Heart and Cross Trap, and it blocks for 2, maybe even 3 if you don't care to use its ability that game. So overall, overall, I'm happy they're making quality product. As long as new players have, as long as there's enough allocations for new players to get it, I'll be happy, right? Because I've lived in the U.S., right? Let's put it, I'll use that caveat. I've lived in every dynamic of the Flesh and Blood, my landscape when it comes to how big the scene is, right? I lived in Dallas, which literally, I'm not exaggerating, has an armory every single night of the week within an hour drive. There are 20 plus LGSs that carry the game within the Dallas-Fort Worth area that run events weekly, and they run it every single night. So in an area like that, yes, this is fine. Everyone's going to get allocations. Everyone's going to get their decks. It's fine. But I also lived in somewhere like Wilmington, North Carolina, where there was one game store within a 2-hour drive that hosted events, and only 8 players played. So if in a situation like that, you want it to get in the hands of new players, and if existing players buy it really quickly because they don't want to care about it, and LGS owners aren't smart and be like, okay, 1 per customer or whatever, and they just try to flip the cards, that feels really bad as well. So it's a dynamic. It's hard to manage. There's no perfect answer all the time, and I commend LSS for going down this route and getting this type of product out. So because still, in my opinion, Flesh and Blood's biggest barrier to entry and biggest problem, it's not a problem per se, but their biggest challenge is new player acquisition because of the cost of the game, how hard it is to get in, how much you get to be frank, how much you get your ass kicked in the game when you first start, because it takes a while to accrue the really expensive cards, and finding that medium level product in order to make new players feel powerful quicker is very difficult. So overall, again, not gonna be a town crier about it. I don't agree with this chess piece being in the Precon, but I'm not gonna sit here and go nuts about it. I'll probably still buy the Precon because it'll be fun. Maybe not. I just recently sold out of everything that's not Assassin or Ninja or Illusionist. Legitimately, that's all I have left, other than my trade binder as I'm getting rid of cards. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you disagree with me, it's totally fine. I'm not sitting here trying to draw a line in the sand and be crazy about it. I'm just giving my general opinion, right? I want to keep things positive. I want people to play this. I want people to enjoy it, and go from there. But yeah, if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to another Flesh and Blood creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. Let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.